A month after his friend Amy's death, Basil decided to give her his own tribute.
Her funeral had been a lavish affair, with black silk and white lilies. Her tombstone in the Gashlycrumb cemetery was mournful and ornate, but such things had nothing to do with Amy or their friendship. Even though she was a duke's daughter and he only a cook's son, they had played hide-and-seek in the manor and wandered the gardens together, talking and laughing. Her favorite place was a little meadow in the forest, surrounded by tall trees.
"That's where I'll hold her tribute," Basil said quietly. You see, Basil was a quiet child.
He never shouted or threw fits. He could enter a room and never be noticed, like a little shadow. The only people who ever took heed of him were Mother Amy and the butcher's daughter Clara, who was nice, if a touch too loud. He never wanted to be a bother, especially to Mother, who had worked so hard to provide for him. Basil didn't tell Mother about his tribute, in case she refused to let him go into the woods alone. He didn't tell Clara either,
which means he didn't tell anyone.
Saturday afternoon, after his chores, and in secret, he packed a basket with Amy's favorite foods, some funerary essentials, and 30 sugar cubes. He dressed in his best clothes and went outside, stopping at the stables to feed each horse 3 sugar cubes. Then he ventured into the woods, thinking of his lost friend as he walked to the meadow. Without her to talk or laugh with, the forest was quiet. Not peacefully quiet, but terribly quiet.
As if something dreadful were about to happen.
Wind rustled through the tall trees, and Basil shivered. He should hurry. It would be dark in an hour or so. Every night he ate dinner with Mother in the kitchen. Basil took his pillowcase out of the basket and unfolded it onto the ground. He laid borrowed plates on it and filled them with honey bread, sausages, and a little pot of butter. He found a slender stick, pushed one end into the ground, and tied a red ribbon at the top. Amy had wrapped his Christmas present, a tin of toy soldiers, with that ribbon last year. The bright satin waved in the wind. Basil surveyed his little altar and nodded. It was good. It was much more like Amy than black silk and white lilies. He'd written her eulogy on a used scrap of butcher paper that smelled faintly of bacon. He read it now, the soft hush of the woods matching the soft hush of his small voice.
To Amy. Halfway through his tribute, Basil realized he had an audience. He looked up to see 2 huge black bears staring at him from the edge of the meadow. They were much taller than he, with claws as long as ivory piano keys, but much sharper.
"Oh dear," Basil whispered. He suddenly realized that honey bread, sausages, and butcher paper that smelled of bacon might have been mistakes. But he and Amy had never been bothered by bears before when they'd picnicked here, because there had been 2 of them and they had laughed and talked. Basil was not accustomed to raising his voice, but he must scare away the bears.
He opened his mouth to say, "Go away, you bears!" Nothing came out but a pitiful, frog-like croak. Bah. He tried again and produced a pitiful, mouse-like squeak. The bears growled without pity and lumbered closer. Oh no. He should have run away from the bears or thrown rocks at them. He shouldn't have come into the woods alone, in secret. He should have screamed louder. He should have been a bother. He wished he could have finished reading Amy's eulogy. He hoped Mother would recover from the shock. The end. Oh, Basil, honey, why did you go into the woods alone? Poor baby. Assaulted by bears. Oh no. So I would be very interested to know if you have a different idea about how or why Basil was assaulted by bears. I would put them in the comments. I want to hear your stories. And also tomorrow, Clara, the motor mouth, the drama queen. Clara, who wasted away. That is tomorrow's story, so please tune in. I want to say thank you for watching. I am Rachel of Rachel Gets Creative, and I am very pleased that you are here. Thank you very much. Love you. Bye-bye. Mwah. Clara.